Hello, everybody. Welcome to Raising Vibrations. You're with Simon today. And in today's video, we're going to be looking at an astrology update. And this is for the 28th of October, 2020. Now, it was only a few days ago that I actually did an update. And so while it may seem that there isn't really much to talk about, it's actually the opposite. So hopefully today there's some more information, some more awareness that you can use to process during this time. It's been my experience of talking to people that this is very intense with the Sun in Scorpio. And so it seems like this would be a great opportunity to add more awareness to our experiences, so it doesn't feel like we're just kind of stumbling in the dark trying to make sense of what we are emotionally moving through at this time. Okay, so as you can see, I've labeled the video Changing Direction, and we're going to be focusing on the Mars retrograde squaring the Pluto at the time. We're going to be talking about Mars retrograde in Aries squaring the Saturn in Capricorn, and we're going to talk about Neptune squaring the nodes as well. And I think something to add to this is the wonderful and amazing Sun in Scorpio in conjunct Chiron in Aries aspect. Woohoo. All right, let's jump into today's conversation. So this is the chart for the moment, and I hope that everybody can see it clearly. As you can see, as always, put the chart aspects on this side over here, on the left-hand side here. And there you can see the Sun, it's quincunxing it's the Moon at the moment. Right, the Moon's in Aries on top of that Chiron over there. So there's a lot of attention. Remember in the Venus video where I talked through Venus through Virgo, remember I said that, that when Venus enters Libra, it's going to be happening at the same time that the Moon not only opposes it, but also hits the Chiron at the same time that the Sun is exact in and in conjunct with Chiron as well. So there's a lot of focus on that Chiron energy at the moment, which really prompted me to do this video. So that's that. And then you can see here as well the Sun in relation to the Chiron aspect. There's the in conjunct that's taking place, right? The green little table. You can see it there? Okay. So Moon in conjunct Sun, Moon conjunct Chiron, Sun in Scorpio in conjunct Chiron. And this is something that's really interesting. Basically, this Sun aspect that's in Scorpio at the moment, it's pointing to a deep internal investigation, okay? A deep internal investigation or reflection or a deep dive, however you want to describe it. We're going deep into the subconscious with this Sun in Scorpio over here. And it's directly connected to the Chiron and Aries aspect, which it talks about our emotional attachments to the wounds of the past. In other words, our experiences that have been unfavorable to us. So Chiron and Aries, right? And the in conjunct to the Sun is the unfavorable aspects that we've had in our lives that has caused us to develop and create a philosophical belief system or a perspective of truth that holds us in a pattern of disempowerment. Okay, so why am I talking about perspective of truth? It's this Neptune here that's in Pisces at the moment, and it's squaring the nodes, as you can see over there, and Jupiter in relation to Pluto. Okay, so I hope that I haven't gone too fast for you all. Let me show you again. Just erase all of that over there. There we go. Okay. All right. So here it is again. I'll go slower this time. Jupiter, Pluto conjunction. Okay, as you can see. And Jupiter is a 20 degrees, Pluto is a 22. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was the 12th of November, 12th or 14th of November, around about that time, Jupiter will make a complete conjunction to Pluto. All right, that's a big deal. But it's still in a closing phase or relationship to Pluto. So Jupiter and Pluto are in a conversation, we're having discussions and we're having talks about things that are rooted in the past still, things that we need to clear up. Okay, does that make sense? So that's that one aspect of energy that's prevalent at the moment. Then if you look at the South Node, the planet that influences Sagittarius is Jupiter. The south node is in Sagittarius. So therefore, the south node is telling us about this Jupiter-Pluto conjunction. And it's saying, here we are focusing on the past, and we're looking at the past dynamics, and we're looking at the past patterns, and how we have formed definition, how we have formed perspective, how we formed our sense of structure of reality around these past cultural truths, past cultural ideologies, past cultural perspectives. So we're very much entrenched in the past with the South Node Jupiter-Pluto conjunction, okay? And again, Pluto is the core of something. Pluto wants to eliminate our deep emotional attachments to things that are outdated or no longer serve us, that are growing moldy, right? So there you have that pattern there. And then you have Neptune, right? And it's connecting to the South Node. Now, in evolutionary astrology, if we have a planet that is squaring the nodes, in other words, forming a 90-degree aspect, as you can see there. Where's good old Neptune? There he is. And let's look at Neptune all the way down to the south and north node, and you can see the square. Yeah? Okay? So Neptune squaring the nodes. In evolutionary astrology, we look at a planet that's squaring the nodes, and we say, here's an aspect that is trying to be integrated into one of the nodes. All right? One of this aspect, or this planet, is trying to be integrated into one of the nodes. And the way to determine which node it is that needs to be integrating, in this case, the Neptune, is the south node. Okay? The south node is the node that needs to be integrated. And so the next question that follows up from that is, well, why? How do you determine that? What gives that importance? And the answer is actually pretty simple. Basically, you stand on Neptune. So if you've got squares to your nodes in your chart, I highly recommend paying attention. So here we have Neptune. You stand on Neptune and you look directly to the middle of the chart. Okay, right to the middle of it. And then you take your left arm and you stretch it out, right? You stretch out your left arm. And in this case, the south node is the planet that is where your left arm is. Okay, so we're looking at now the south node. And the reason why we take the left arm is because the south node would have been the node that would have made a last conjunction to Neptune in this case. So as you know, with this planet over here, Neptune is moving like this. The south node is moving like that. So the south node made a conjunction to Neptune last. So it's the node and the planet that made a conjunction to each other that will then be the resolution. Okay? So if Neptune was sitting here, then the north node would have been the resolution. In other words, we need to focus on the north node if we're trying to see what Neptune is telling us. Okay? So now that we have figured out that it's the south node that needs to be resolved, when we look at the south node, in this case, and we understand that this is Neptune, the emotional or psychological perspective that we take is, this is about reliving past experiences in order to develop self-awareness around the contents of those past experiences. And this is why this is called a change in direction. We are literally entrenched in the reflection and the observation and the processing of past cultural norms, perspectives, truths, ideologies that we have subscribed to as a human race to validate the sense of reality that we have. And it's so vast in terms of explaining this that the way to simplify this is simply each culture has an ideology or a perspective or a personal truth, and we use that as an overarching system of thought to help us orientate our sense of perception in the world. So this is about perception. So Neptune squaring the south node, and the south node being ruled by Jupiter, and Jupiter in a closing phase, balsamic phase to Pluto, gives you a very strong indication that what we are resolving is the past. So what will happen for us is Sun in conjunct Chiron in Aries is we will have wounds and experiences and sensitivities show up from the past or not from the past, but from our past experiences into our awareness, into our awareness. And what we have to do is not act Mars retrograde. Okay, not like, okay, oh, I've got to go and change this. It is to simply observe the underlying dynamics that caused them to begin with in the first place, to use the Scorpio archetype to really get underneath what was the attachment to the experience. So if you're having a conflict with somebody right now, ask yourself, what part of the conflict are you bringing to the table that is rooted in a wound that you may carry? Okay? This is the type of thing that is showing up for us. And the point is to truly tune into the core underlying patterns of emotion that is attached to that belief, that perspective that you have, that perception you have of your experience, and allow awareness to permeate the experience, right? Let's say, for instance, you didn't have an upbringing where you were seen a lot, okay? So part of that experience might feel that when you're in a conversation with somebody and they're not validating your experience, you might say, hey, you're not seeing me, as an example. But really what's actually occurring is that this outer experience is bringing to your awareness patterns of feeling like you're never seen. And so therefore you're tuning into that. You want to heal that. You want to close that gap inside of yourself. You want to contemplate how that is not working for you anymore, right? So we're shifting from our wounds into action. And when I say action, I don't mean taking action. I mean that we are shifting our sense of perspective away from that disempowered state within us. And we're progressively, through understanding the underlying reasons as to why they occurred, giving us freedom. We're breaking away from the attachment to the wound. And we're trying to move past and change the direction of what it is that we've always used as a narrative that keeps us disempowered ultimately. Okay? This is the theme here with the chart at the moment. And we will feel the seesaw effect between the past showing up, right, and then trying to shift the pattern. We're trying to change the storyline around it. And the sun in opposition to Uranus at the moment will feel like patterns of somatic energy arrive into your awareness, like just coming out of the blue, nowhere, stopping, checking in with yourself and saying, okay, where am I in this experience attached to a philosophy or a belief system or a truth or a perspective that is holding me back? And you're just allowing awareness. You're just allowing awareness to permeate into your consciousness at this stage, okay? So we're in a state of reliving past dynamics, and then we're understanding the cause of those past dynamics and how they've influenced our life. And that is literally what we're just moving through at this point in time. We're developing deep self-awareness around this, okay? It's interesting to note that Pluto-Jupiter will make a conjunction. Like I said, it's around the 14th of November. And Mars will go direct on the 13th of November. So within that time scope, we're going to have two planets moving into positions of complete new growth. And that's when we're going to take all of this self-awareness and we're going to take all of this understanding about things. And now what we're going to do is we're going to then begin to make choices, right? We're going to move forward with Mars in Aries, moving forward and breaking out of these patterns with the self-awareness, with the energy to change the pattern within inside of ourselves. Okay, cool. So let's quickly erase all of the things on the screen here for us, and then we're going to look at a quote that I felt was really, really well. Jen actually felt she discovered it, and I thought, yeah, this speaks volumes to this experience. And it says, "Often finding meaning is not about doing things differently. It's about seeing familiar things in new ways." And this is so good. It's just really, really good, because what we're seeing here in old patterns showing up as they show up is not to get attached to them emotionally as if, becoming personified through them, but just watching and observing how these patterns are just literally like moving through us, and we're just letting them go as if they were part of us, but no longer part of the new direction. And we're shedding layers of patterns of thinking, patterns of emotional responses that no longer serve the interest of our new creative direction. Okay? All right, peeps. So I really hope that you got something of value out of this. If you found like this work is working for you and you find a lot of value in it, check out our Patreon page. Okay. In fact, this week Friday we're going to be having our Jupiter membership call. So that's something that we gather every single last Friday or Saturday of every single month, and we have like a town hall event, and I answer questions that you might have as well. So that's something that's happening this Friday actually. And if you're interested in studying astrology or like the way I teach astrology, we've got an entire astrology school and library that's on our website, that you can pick and choose from at any point in time. And it's all online, so you can study literally at your own pace. Okay? All right, peeps, have an amazing day. Take care. Bye-bye.